Hey everyone, welcome to my live today. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Rini Khanna and I'm a holistic coach for entrepreneurs. And today I want to go live and I want to talk to you guys about embodiment and resistance that comes up when we try to embody the identity of the version of us that has our desire, and what you can do to overcome this resistance. So please say hi as you pop on the live. Tell me where you're from. And if you have any questions around this or something you're trying to manifest that's been challenging for you, feel free to ask questions. But I am going to dive in because I'm super excited about this. This is a topic that came up in our daily calls. So I do daily calls with my membership. And we were talking about the identity work because oftentimes it keeps coming back. When you try and manifest something, it feels like it just keeps coming back to the same thing. It's like, well, just embody the identity of the version of me that has my desire, or what would future me think, or how would future me behave? What would I do if I was acting like the version of me that already had my desire? And it's like, well, I can't do that because I'm not that version. The thing is, you can. Right? In every moment, we have a choice, and life inherently has no meaning. We are the ones that assign meaning to life, and we tend to do that based on our past, based on our social conditioning, right? We use a lot of different stories and a lot of different experiences to create meaning out of life. So we're experiencing something, we have a circumstance, we have an event happening to us, and we want to assign it some sort of meaning. We decide that, let's just say trading stocks, because that's what I love doing. I'm trading stocks, the market is going down, this means I'm going to lose money, and I can confirm that by selling my stocks at a loss and confirm that belief, right? We are constantly trying to confirm our belief system by looking at our external reality and assigning it meaning. Now, in any given moment in time, right now, in this moment, you can choose to give your circumstance a completely different meaning, right? But we don't do this. Or if we try and do it, it feels very challenging. It's like, how can I do this from the future version of myself when this is the current circumstance? I want to react to what is going on right now. And the reason we find it so challenging to react differently is because our body is actually addicted to our thoughts. Every time you have a thought that triggers an emotional reaction, emotions are energy in motion, it triggers a chemical reaction in the body. And our body is addicted to that. And so we create this belief system. So we have these thoughts which feed a belief system, which fundamentally informs who we are, right? And that becomes our ego, our identity. And so our body is attached to yesterday's identity. It's attached to it because of, one, we're all energy, right? We're all energy, and to experience a 3D reality, we have a body, and to this body, we attach an identity. This is our ego. We attach this identity to this body, and yet we're now saying, I want to take on a new identity, but our body physically is actually stuck in our old identity. So when we try and assign a new meaning to our current circumstance, our body rejects that. Our body actually will rebel. Our body will want to take us back into our old identity because it feels literally to your body like life or death. It feels like, if I let go of this old identity, who am I? What am I? It's like a identity crisis for your body. And so it rebels. It wants you to go back to that old chemical release of that old identity. Your identity has a chemical release or reaction in your body, right? Because if you think about it, your identity is based on your standards, your beliefs, your thoughts, your actions, which create a chemical reaction in the body. So it wants to go back to that old chemistry, and so it's going to rebel. It's going to try and take you back. You're going to start to have, thoughts that come from a past version of you, and you're going to assign your current circumstance a meaning. The work here in that moment is to realize that you're bigger, you're greater than your body, right? This is the whole mind over matter concept. We want to apply this to manifestation. You want to apply this to identity work and understand that it's logically you know better, right? We all know better. Logically, you're sitting there going, well, I know better. I know I can assign a different meaning to this. I know this has no meaning. However, I can't seem to change that. I can't seem to see the situation in a different way, or I can't seem to feel differently about it. And this is because that's what your body is dictating. It's trying to take you back. So the work of embodiment cannot be done without bringing the body into it. We can intellectualize all we want about embodiment, about the future version of me, about what that identity looks like and how is that person thinking, behaving, feeling. I'm going to try and emulate that. But until we don't bring the body on board, it is a very conscious, deliberate choice in every single moment of your life. It's a very conscious, deliberate choice to say, it's observing yourself and saying, am I assigning this current moment a meaning that will confirm a belief that takes me away from my desire? Because if I'm doing that, I'm having no choice but to relive my past over and over and over again. So if we want to do something different, we have to realize we're not just intellectualizing this, we're not just talking about it, we're not just understanding it, but we're also bringing the body on board. So sometimes people like to use techniques to help get your body on board, right? So this might be tapping, somatic healing. You could go, I personally like to do like a steam room or something to just release that old identity. It is, at the end of the day, in my opinion, the best way to communicate with your body is through ritual, right? So if you perform any kind of ritual and indicate to your body that this is what this ritual signifies, you can actually train your body to say, I am shifting into this new identity, we're doing this work, we're taking on something different now, and this is the identity we're moving into, and the body has to get on board, right? So the work here is to bring your body on board. It's to listen to your body and to understand that, okay, it's taking me back to this old identity because that's an addiction, that's familiar, and now my only work here is to bring my body on board. And this is why in manifestation, oftentimes a lot of coaches and a lot of gurus will tell you, do the things that make you feel good. Because when you do things that make you feel good, when you go on vacation, when you go out with your friends, when you spend time with your family, you feel good. When you feel good, your body relaxes, and it is a lot easier to shift into a new identity. And so when we're telling you as coaches to say, well, do what you love, spend some time every morning doing something that makes you happy. This is why gratitude works so well, because every time you're in a place of gratitude, your body relaxes and it's easier to take on that new identity. So what I oftentimes see people doing is when they're trying to manifest something, they're trying really hard. They're affirming, they're journaling, they're doing all the things. They're listening to all the gurus and they're like, okay, I'm going to take on this identity. I'm going to take on this persona, but the body is literally just being dragged along. When you indulge your body, when you allow your body to relax and then choose a new identity, this work happens a lot faster. And what actually ends up happening is that, like any other thing, the more you practice it, the better you become at it, right? So the more you allow your body, the more you override your body and choose a new identity and say, this is where we're moving to, and you relax your body, ease your body into it, your body becomes used to it. Your body knows to expect it, just like everything else that you've gotten your body used to. It becomes muscle memory. And this work becomes easier and easier and easier as you go. So when people come to me for manifestation, I always tell them, start with something easy. Start with an identity shift that your body is not going to reject. Because then what you're doing is you're building the muscle, and you keep building the muscle and you keep getting better and better at it until you start to go to places where your body doesn't feel safe, right? And what I mean by this is that, let's say love for you has never been a place where it's easy to manifest. It's never been a safe place. Maybe you've had really difficult, challenging experiences in this aspect of your life. So now you can't just go in and say, well, I'm going to assume the identity of someone who's in an incredible relationship, because for you, your body will not feel safe. And you can try you can try tapping, you can try somatic healing, you can try a whole bunch of things, but it's going to take your body a very long time to warm up to that identity, to be comfortable in that identity. If instead what you do is you train your body to get comfortable in this work of shifting identities, right? So you can do this in something that comes easy to you. Maybe it's money. Maybe you're the type of person that's always had a job, money always shows up. So you're like, okay, let's kick it up a notch. Let's take on a new identity. Now your body is still going to have resistance, but it may not feel that same panic as it would in maybe the aspect of love in your life. So you kick it up a notch, right? Or you pick something you have very little resistance to. I started telling people, manifest small things. Like just think of something like a red rose and see how quickly you will see that in your reality. You will not reject it, right? So and I know that sounds like it's not identity shift, but it is, okay? Anything you manifest requires you to shift your identity. It requires you to buy into it. It requires you to believe it. It requires you to know with certainty that it's coming your way, right? So if you can be the person who's definitely going to receive a rose, Nisha, I don't know if you're still on, but if you are, I think this was an example you shared with me, that you're going to receive a rose, you're going to see a rose, and you did. And then you saw it over and over and over because that became your normal. That was easy for your body to accept and easy for you to see all the time. This is just who I am. Another easy one to start with is manifesting parking spots, right? I self-proclaimed queen of finding parking spots, the best parking spot no matter where I go. I have no resistance to that. I can incorporate that into my identity fairly easily, right? Now my body's like, oh, okay. I'm getting used to this work of shifting identities. You're rewiring your neural pathways to create a new ego for yourself, a new ego to attach to the body. And the body's like, okay, I can attach to something new. I can get used to this change. And the more you do that, the better your body gets at it. And now you go to love, to a place or an aspect in your life that feels very unsafe to you in your body. And understandably so, if you've had difficult experiences, this can happen. You go to that aspect of your life and you try and shift your identity, and you slowly push your comfort zone in that aspect of your life. The body is going to accept it a lot more easily, right? So this is why I tell people, when you're manifesting, you want to understand a little bit more around the theory of how it works, but bring your body into it. Know that your body is a big part of this, and what's creating the resistance isn't your logic. Logically, you want your desire. Logically, you know it's possible. Logically, you know, okay, if I desire it, it's because it already exists. Creation is done. I know this logically, and yet somehow I can't seem to bring myself to buy into it. I can't seem to bring myself to even take actions, right? One of the things we were talking about is, let's say you have a phobia of heights or a fear of something. Your body will literally freeze. You might be on one of those, like let's say the CN Tower here in Toronto with a glass bottom floor, and logically you're looking at it and you're like, okay, people are walking on it. It's perfectly safe. I can go walk on it, but your body will actually freeze up. It will physically freeze up and it will not allow you to move. This is the sensations people feel in their body when we have a phobia. It's literally the same thing. Your body is having a phobia of taking on a new identity and adopting a new thought process around your reality in a certain aspect of your life. It's having a difficult time saying that I am the person that's in a healthy relationship. Your body's literally rejecting it, which is why it's so difficult for you to do the embodiment work. It's difficult for you to take on that identity. So once you understand that this is a bodily thing, the work is not to assume the identity of the person who has your desire. The work is to get your body better at shifting identities, right? Because once you do this, you can manifest anything. So this is about building that relationship with your body and building that trust between body, mind, and soul, and saying, okay, these are my desires. I'm going to understand, the identity, logically understand, use my brain capacity to understand the identity, and then do the work to ease my body into it, right? One of the things I see happen so often with clients is that the minute they're they're getting close to what they desire, they're getting the thing they want, they will have panic attacks, like literally have anxiety in the body. I had one client who always wanted to launch a membership. And the minute she launched it and the first couple of people bought into it, she was just having full-on panic attack in the body. Her body was rejecting the idea. It was completely rejecting the identity of her showing up as a leader that way. So the work that we did together was to ease her body into it, ease her nervous system into it, so that the identity felt comfortable in the body, not just in the logical mind. Because a lot of us can do that work to logically make sense of the identity. But to have it feel comfortable in the body, because the minute that happens, it's yours. If your body is not rejecting your manifestation, you have it instantaneously. And I know this, I see this all the time. This is the work that we've been doing in the membership. This is what's inspired me to do all of these lives, because the kind of results we're getting when we do this work is insane. People are manifesting things that they didn't think they would experience ever in a matter of 24 hours. Things that they thought would take months have come in days by doing this work, by easing your body into the process of intentional manifestation. We are always manifesting things. Like, that's a given. You're always going to be your life is, you are a manifestation machine. You came here to create reality, not to create reality. I always say we're not creators. We're not creating our reality. Creation is done. We have a creator. We are the choosers of our reality. We get to choose from infinite realities, but we choose what we feel is safe. We choose what feels safe in our body. And so once we master the art of choosing, intentionally choosing what we want, that's just a skill. That's a skill to master, right? And maybe I'll do another live on this, this process of healing, because I hear this a lot, but I have to heal this first and I have to heal that first. But ultimately, all you really are trying to do is to master the art of choosing your reality. That's what reality creation is all about. This is when things bend in your favor. This is when you desire something and it just happens, right? I can list countless examples of how this has played out in my life, in my client's life. It's when we decide that I am not here just to try and get a lot of money or manifest love. I'm actually here to understand myself and become a master at choosing my reality. And this is a process of building a relationship with my body, of getting my body on board with my manifestations, because the minute that happens, you have it instantaneously. So I'm going to leave it at that. I wanted to talk about this because there's a lot of talk about embodiment and a lot of people talking about the identity work and shifting identities, and oftentimes we think that that's a mental thing. And so it is really important to not leave the body out of embodiment. Thank you guys for joining, and I hope that helps.